Hello, it's that time to do my Premier League predictions for the 2020-2021 season. So what I've done for these ones, I've taken a look at the sides and how they've done in the past 5 seasons. Also had a look in terms of top signings for each club as well too. The TAB odds that they're given each club to win, as well as how long the managers have been at the clubs for and who have they previously managed. So lots of information. I'm not going to share it all because this video will just go on for like half an hour or something ridiculous. But I can pull in different bits there and there as I need it to explain myself. So I start from the bottom and give you my 20th place picks. The relegation sides, work my way up, and then tell you who do I think will be champions. Might be a little bit of a giveaway in terms of who I support, but without further ado, let's get to it. So 20th place, I'm going to go for Westbrom. They newly promoted. They managed to do so from coming second in the championship last season there. And previous seasons before that, they did finish 4th. They came all the way down to 20th place in the championship, but prior to that, they have been a Premier League side before, finishing 10th and 14th. In terms of signings, Matthias Pereira, undisclosed fee, seemed to be the only one to mention. Odds for them to go down, they second favourites tipped to go down at $2. So if you bet $1, you get $2 in return, so basically 50% chance of them getting relegated this season. And their account manager is Slaven Village, who has previously managed Hajduk Split, Croatian under-21 sides, and Croatia. So manager of the country, sort of an important role. 1 year, 77 days he's been at Westbrom for, so not that long, but I mean, of course, managers these days don't last long at all. So let's see how he gets on, but I reckon they're going to finish dead last. In 19th place, I'm going to go for another promoted side, that being Fulham, who managed to do so by winning the playoff final against Brentford. I would have much preferred Brentford to make it into the Premier League for the very first time, but it is Fulham, so, you know, they managed to come straight back up after being in the Premier League prior to that. Of course, going down, straight back up. And previously, 3rd place, 6th place, and 20th place in the Championship. They are the favourites to be relegated at $1.91, so more than a 50% chance the bookies are tipping them to go down massively. In terms of signings, they managed to sign someone for $2 million. Annots Rosen John, and their manager Scott Parker, been there for a year and 183 days, and it's his very first managed job, but he was a former player for Fulham for 4 years, as you quite often see. Is the first coaching position is going to be a club that they previously played at there, just to have some sort of experience heading into that transition from player to management. It'll take a bit of work, but yeah, let's see how he gets on. He's at the big time, the Premier League, so I reckon they're going to finish 19th, unfortunately. 18th place, I'm going to go for Astonvilla to also go down this time. They just managed to avoid the drop last season, finishing in 17th. Prior to that, they have been a championship side. They have been a historic, great Premier League team, but even after finding, $200 million or something pretty ridiculous in the signings last season, it might not have been that much, it might have been like 100 million or so. But they spent a hell of a lot of money, and that doesn't necessarily equate to doing well up in the table like I thought they would end up doing. They are actually the 3rd favourites to go down this season as well too, at $2.63. And the current manager, Dean Smith, been at the club for almost 2 years. Previously managed Walsall for 4 years and Brentford for 3 years. So good term stays at clubs could potentially help them to survive again this season, but I reckon they won't. In 17th, I'm going to go for Brighton. They're a club that's just on the brink of survival or relegation, 15th, 17th and 15th previous 3 seasons. I did tip them to go down last season, might even tip them to go down the season before that. But yeah, this season I think they are just going to survive. $4.33 for them to be relegated this season, so less than 25% chance. So the bookies tip them to do a little bit better than previously. And they did sign Joel Voltman for $900,000, though that's just small pocket change for most of these clubs. Their manager Graham Potter managed the Swedish club Astonvilla for 8 years and also managed Swansea for a year. Currently been at this job for 1 year as well too. And 16th, I'm going to go for Newcastle. I want to put them a lot higher up if that takeover actually did manage to happen. It's been back-to-back seasons of, yes, we're going to be taken over, we're going to be a billionaire club, but just keeps pulling out. So big frustration for Newcastle fans on that front. So, just stay in division and then somehow get that all sorted and then potentially, possibly even push for winning the title, because if they get that ownership through, they'll be even richer than Manchester City. So wouldn't that be something pretty crazy? Jeff Hendrick on a free, they're signing, so as you can see, just absolutely flat line. $2.88 to be relegated. Their manager Steve Bruce, 1 year 43 days. Managed the likes of Sheffield United, Huddersfield, Sunderland, Wigan, Crystal Palace, Birmingham. So no real great sides, and yeah, so not the best manager, but enough to get the job done like he did last season. 15th place, I'm going to go for Crystal Palace. They got that super experienced manager of Roy Hodgson. He's managed like 20 clubs or something ridiculous, and a few different nations as well too, like Switzerland and the UAE and even England. 2 years, 352 days, so nearly been in this job for 3 years. Crystal Palace, they managed to finish 15th, 17th, 14th, 12th, 11th, sorry, 14th, 15th, so like the mid lower down part of the table. They signed Edwidge Ease for 16 million bucks. So that's my thoughts on Crystal Palace. And 14th, I'm going to go for Everton. I expected a lot more of Ancelotti last season as they took over, but ultimately they were doing alright and then they slipped back down and ended up coming down in 12th place. So not too great for them. So they're managed by Ancelotti. He's been at the club for just 251 days so far. He's managed the likes of Juventus, AC Milan, Chelsea, PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and Napoli. So all the big giant clubs. So Everton feels like a bit of a drop for him. Next one, 13th place, they're going to go for Sheffield United. They're managed by Chris Wilder, and potentially could he become the new Eddie Howe, as he's been at the club for 4 years there, been promoted from League One as well too, and League One to the Championships to the Premier League, so great story for him. And it's been at Oxford United for 6 years, Halifax for 6 years, so likes to be committed to different clubs for a long period of time. So all things looking quite great for Sheffield United, though I think they will drop down from last season's 9th place, which was just ridiculously quite high. But 13th, you can't exactly argue for them for that. 12th place, I'm going to go for West Ham. A place that they should be able to do, but David Moyes probably should go first, as he has been sacked previously from West Ham and then just brought back in straight like that a year later. So, I mean, I don't really see the point of that. You probably want to see a new change, someone that can actually get the job done, as they just about got relegated last season, unbelievably. At 11th spot, I'm going to go for Burnley. has the longest current serving manager of Sean Dyche, managing for 7 years. So it's a long time. It's a long time these days. I mean, it's not going to be any more Arsene Wenger's or Sir Alex Ferguson's. So just get to 7, 8 years, probably like the cap these days of the worthless nature of the Premier League sackings. So for Burnley, 10th, 15th, 7th, 16th place finishes on the table there. So, I mean, Europe was the best that they had managed to do before getting into Europa League positions. So you never know, they might challenge that this season there. They got my player from New Zealand, Chris Wood, so hopefully they do quite well. But they are going to miss out, unfortunately. And 10th place are going to go for Leicester City. They got the Europa League commitments. I know what damage that did to them when they managed to win the Premier League before and qualify for the Champions League. They finished quite low down on the table. They lost Ben Chilwell in defence to my Chelsea club and no replacements. So I expect to see quite a significant drop for Leicester. Of course, they managed by Brendan Rodgers, been at club for 1 year, 184 days, managed the likes of Liverpool, Celtic, Watford, Sweden and Swansea. 8th place are going to go for Leeds. So, somewhat ambitious again, as I predicted Astonvilla to do quite well last season around that sort of placing. And Leeds newly promoted club here. But they have made some big signings. Wadawiko for 30 million, Hayden Costa for 16 million as well too. And also got that historic great club nature side when they previously been in the Premier League 16 years ago. They were a Champions League type opponents there. The Champions Cup, I guess it was called then. So you hope that they manage to do quite well again there. 7th place, they're going to go for Tottenham. Lack of signings and Marino expected to flop after a couple of seasons. I don't know. I don't really expect too much from Jose Mourinho these days there. I mean, he didn't even really perform for Tottenham last season. And Tottenham are a side who has been without a trophy in so many years. It seems like they just can't quite click it all together to find a way to even win the FA Cup or the Capital One Cup or something like that. I mean, Premier League, Champions League is all sort of out of the question, even though they did manage to get to their final recently against Liverpool, but that's for another day. And 6th place are going to go for Manchester United. A bit of a mini crisis at Manchester United these days as Harry Maguire, the captain, had that Greek trip thing going on there and sort of getting arrested in trouble. So who knows what's going to happen with them, and lack of signings as well too. There was quite a few players that were rumoured to come into the club but has fallen short so far. And 5th place are going to go for Wolves. I think they will improve this season because they don't have Europe to contend with. And previously they managed to finish a couple of 7th places there after being promoted from the Premier League. Their manager is Nuno Espinto, spent at the club for 3 years, Portuguese manager, and has all these Portuguese players to get familiar with. 4th place are going to go for Arsenal. I think they will definitely improve from the horrific 8th place season last time round. They managed to win the Community Shield just the other day, and they managed to win the FA Cup against my club. And yeah, Arteta seems like the manager to turn the corner for Arsenal, and Aubameyang is still in their side, which was the big question, whether or not he was going to leave or not. And 3rd place are going to go for Liverpool. I think they will drop down to 3rd, as they sort of lost their flow after the restart last season. I mean, it seemed inevitable they will become champions. And at that point, yeah, they had whacked up a few more losses, a couple of draws, some uninspiring results as such. Yeah, I think they sort of really lost their way. Their signings, what do they have in the signings there? They signed Kostas Timisikos for 11.7 million, but not a whole lot of ass. 2nd place are going to go for Manchester City. They are the money machines of the Premier League these days. They signed Nathan Ake for 41 million. And it seems like possibly Lionel Messi from Barcelona could move to Manchester City. It seems like the most likely candidate sides, but who knows, he could go anywhere. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see on that. But regardless, Manchester City throw money at things to get their way. And they have finished second, third, fourth in the 5 previous seasons, so they're always going to be there or thereabouts. And they are the favourites to win the Premier League this season at $1.72. But of course, my Premier League champions for the season is going to be Chelsea there. And I have to feel a lot more confident about saying it than I did last season there, as we had a transfer ban and new manager, which we always seem to transition through managers on a regular basis. But we got Frank Lampard. He's been a former Chelsea player for 13 years, scoring 147 goals. And, you know, we did an amazing job last season, finishing in 4th place, qualifying for the Champions League without signing a single person. And this time we have done it all. We signed Timo Werner from Leipzig. We have signed Hakim Ziyech for 36 million from Ajax. Got Ben Chilwell for the defence from Leicester for 45 million. Also got Thiago Silva from PSG, Xavier Mwamba, and Marlon Sarr. So all these players coming into the team, and Timo Werner in the friendly match against Brighton just the other day managed to get on the score sheet as well too. So it's all looking up for Chelsea, and I mean, it seems like really good odds, 12-1. Premier League odds charts, considering how badly Manchester City did last season. Liverpool seems like they're going to be on a bit of a decline, and Chelsea is always going to be up from here. So those are my thoughts, predictions for this season's Premier League. Feel free to put your own thoughts, predictions down below. Who's going to win, who's going to go down, who's going to get Champions League, Europa League, and all that. Cheers.